All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for it, guys. Episode 10
Of
My
My
Hero
Hero
Academia.
Academia.
Oh my gosh.
Deku vs. Todoroki is happening.
But that's not the name of the episode.
Yes.
The episode is called Todoroki Origin. Oh my gosh. Okay, just to clarify, Shoto Todoroki Origin.
Yeah.
So, I'm hyped for this episode. We're gonna get a fight, but could it go into a two-parter?
It could if they did the whole backstory thing, which it seems like they're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm really excited for a fight that has those typical little pauses where we flash back to a moment of importance and relevance within the fight.
But like in a way that does it
But
really
in a way that
well.
does it really well.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to preface this with, for those of you that don't know, Jacob and I have a bet going on right now.
Exactly.
We have brackets that are basically to determine who we think will win. And just to give you a little bit of a refresher, we'll show them to you right now. All right, this is my bracket. As you can see, I was exactly right all throughout the first row because they were pretty easy to predict, except for the Kaminari and Vine's Girl one. I kind of flipped a coin. But now we come down to it in the second round where I believe Todoroki will win. And here, let me show you Jacob's.
So as you can see in this one, it's basically the same as Caleb's, with two exceptions. One, I thought that Kaminari would win his fight with the vine hair girl, which he didn't. So, Caleb's ahead of me so far. But I think Deku will beat Todoroki, and he will go on to win the tournament.
This single fight, not only is it the culmination of these two characters' kind of development and rivalry, it's the culmination of our bet.
Yes.
So no matter what happens in the future of the tournament, whoever wins this fight's prediction will win the bet.
Exactly.
There is no chance of the other person having any kind of a comeback because of the exact similarities of our bracket predictions. So the culmination of the bet will involve a slap.
Yes.
And this will be a slap of epic proportion. Let's just do this thing. It'll be a 1-for-all slap. This will be a plus ultra slap.
Oh yeah.
And we have been building up to this with a lot of debate and a lot of hype and a lot of anticipation. So we're equally invested, but only one of us is going to be a little bit more equal because one of us will be slapped,
and the other
that person
will
will be Jacob.
Nope.
Here we go. Yep. Midoriya! Versus Todoroki! Oh, here we go! Oh my god. Yeah! Whoa!
Wow.
Oh, see,
Smart.
that's how he's gonna block it.
Yeah.
Six more, and then he's basically just gotta use one super strong one.
Right.
An endurance match. No, this is not gonna be an endurance match.
Not one Deku can win anyways.
Jeez.
There we go. There we go.
Whoa!
Oh boy.
Things aren't looking too good, Deku.
Deku jumped forward right now and used his other arm, he could beat him.
Whoa. What happened? Oh! Oh boy. Deku, you're crazy.
Are you serious?
Yep, that's what I thought.
Fight me at your full power.
That would hurt so bad.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some permanent damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
緑谷何のつもりだ全力クソ親父に金でも握らされたか
Oh, now he's pissed. Todoroki lost his cool.
Yeah.
近距離ならお前は対応できない右足上がった瞬間にこいつイメージ電子レンジの爆発しない
Oh!
Oh.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Oh boy.
Oh, they're going all out. Oh, don't! No, not a... Yeah, yeah.
But...
Oh, good point. Okay. Yeah. His own All Might's.
Yep. His friends.
He headbutted him. He headbutted him, guys. What is this fight? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. I called this.
Yeah.
こんなもので倒れていてはオールマイトおろか雑魚ヴィランにすら
やめてください。まだ5つですよ。
もう5つだ邪魔するな
お母さん。やだよお母さん。僕お父さんみたいになりたくない。お母さんをいじめる人になんてなりたくない。でもヒーローにはなりたいんでしょ。
だから僕が勝つ
Are those the other
I
ones?
think they are. Yeah.
あれらはお前とは違う世界の人間だ。
Oh my gosh.
お母さん私変なのもうダメ子供たちが日に日にあの人に似てくる
Oh.
ショート
Oh.
あの子の左側が
Oh.
時折とても
There's the water.
思えてしまう
There's the boiling water.
もう育てられない
Uh-uh.
育てちゃダメなのお母さん
まったく大事な時だというのに。
お母さんは
ああ、お前に危害を加えたので病院に入れた。
So she's in like a mental ward or something.
Yeah.
お前がお母さんを
俺はこいつを親父の力を君の力じゃない
Yes! Yes!
でもヒーローになるでしょ
This is so good.
いつの間にか忘れてしまった。
血にとらわれることなんかない
Yes!
なりたい自分に
Jacob Deku's basically giving him permission to
Yeah.
be himself, and it's going to be the reason why he loses.
緑谷少年、君はまさか。
Yeah, of course he is, because he wants to be a hero.
Right.
勝ちてえくせに。畜生、
Wow.
敵に塩を送るなんて。
This is so epic, though. Yeah, for
That's
real.
true.
ヒーローに
Oh my gosh! Are they gonna end the episode here?
Shut up.
己を受け入れたか。そうだ。いいぞ。俺の野望をお前が果たせ。
No, he won't.
何を笑ってんだよ。その怪我でこの状況でお前イかれてるよ。
You are crazy,
どう
Deku.
なっても知らねえぞ。
It's over. Oh my gosh.
これ以上はもう。
彼の身が持たない
What?
Are they ending the fight?
I think they're gonna try to. Oh my gosh, he jumped over it.
Oh yeah. ありがとな。
Oh my god.
散々冷やされた空気が瞬間的に熱され膨張したんだ。
それでこの爆風って
Yeah, that makes
どんだ
sense.
け高熱だよたくなんも見えねえおいこれ勝負はどうなってんだ
Oh crap. It could be a tie.
緑役場外
Oh. Wow. Oh my gosh.
轟くん3回戦進出
What a fight! Oh, what a fight! That was more than just a fight.
That
too.
was-
that was a clash of ideals, but also
Yeah,
just people who
it
are
was-
trying to live up to
Yep.
expectations,
Oh my
but
gosh.
are willing
Like,
to go beyond
Yeah.
the expectations laid
Yep.
upon them.
Right, and forge their own path because they want it, not because other people want it.
Do you realize that Midoriya intentionally lost the fight?
Basically, yeah.
No, he knew that he could probably beat Todoroki, but he was so frustrated with seeing Todoroki intentionally restrict himself because of the expectations put on him by his father, and decides, you know what? To hell with this. I know what it means to be a hero, and to be a hero doesn't mean winning this tournament necessarily. It means saving people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is
boom right there. That's it. Oh. I'm not even like really wanting to rub it in your face that I totally just won the
I don't even
bet either.
Really mind either. Like
wow.
That was so good. That was so good.
What were your thoughts?
So I hope that Endeavor gets put in his place if he wasn't already from this fight, that it happens soon after, because I feel like he might try and like claim this as like, yes, now you will be everything I want you to be, Todoroki.
I don't think that he will get that satisfaction. I think if anything, he'll go up to Todoroki and be like, hey, well done.
And Todoroki will just not have it.
And Todoroki, I don't know, Todoroki will just ignore him.
Sure.
Like, Todoroki doesn't need to acknowledge him. Like, everything that Endeavor is doing,
that would be so amazing.
He is endeavoring, basically, to mulch off of his son's success.
Right.
Like, that's the best thing of what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's trying to, partner with his son in order to further his own ambitions, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, in this respect, if Todoroki had that moment and he snapped and he's free now.
Yeah.
Todoroki's character could go almost anywhere.
And oh boy.
But we got to have some reconciliation with him and his mother, though.
Yeah, we do.
Now that we know that not only is his mother alive, but his mother's accessible. She's just at probably a mental hospital somewhere. Being, hopefully treated well, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now, okay, here's something I want to point out. They ended up resolving this fight with a my power versus your power.
Yes!
One final blow.
One final blow.
But, they did it so well. Like, that...
They had all the power of the two of them basically used. So, if you think about it, Todoroki kind of lets him know, hey, don't blame me.
Right.
I'm about to destroy you. And Deku just kind of looks at us like, bring it on. He swings his ice at him. This massive blow. Deku launches himself above it using One for All. Gets really close to his actual abilities. But if you saw, Todoroki was on fire in the middle, and he was moving the ice around it.
That was in this so cool.
It was so good. But he weaved it around to be almost this corkscrew of just heat and ice.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Zuko's final move against Azula in their final Agni Kai when he does the spiraling fireballs.
Yes. Yes, it reminded me of that too.
Except it's fire and ice.
It didn't remind me as much of it because of the ice part.
Right.
But what it reminded me of a little bit was kind of him going basically Avatar state with just water and fire. But if you think about it, Todoroki's power has been so strong. Yeah. And we haven't really seen him even use fire. We've seen him heat things up.
Right.
So the fire came out in this almost this wing over his arm and everything. And it wasn't this thing that he summons like fireballs and shoots them. It was like he became fire on this half.
Yes.
And as a visual design choice, it's amazing. But one of the things I want to draw attention to is Todoroki has this kind of view of being the devil's son, basically. He is the chosen one of a pseudo antagonist. Think about it this way: if Endeavor is the devil, basically, Todoroki's fire is his only remaining wing. He was clipped as a child. Think about it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about the imagery here.
He also has an ice wing.
Well, yeah, but the point is that he was restricted in what he could do because of the psychological damage
Right.
dealt to him at a young age by not only his father's
But
abusive
also
training, but
his
also
mom.
his mother's
And in a way-
inability to kind of weather the
Oh boy.
the trauma.
So this is a great mirror for Deku's own mom, because his mom was mom was the one that originally made there be the doubt of, oh, can I actually be a hero? But she was also the one that told him, you know, like, was encouraging him and all that stuff. Here, Todoroki was originally in a situation very similar to Deku.
Yeah.
But then because of what his mom did, that made him think that he had to abandon his, you know, the half from his father, right? If his mom hadn't burned him, he probably would have been able to accept it and just say, I'm just going to be a hero.
Interesting. So
You know?
you don't think he would have become a pawn of Endeavor?
No, I don't think so. Because Endeavor was already abusing his mom, so...
Right. So in a way, it's not that the scar defined him as much as, say, Zuko's character did.
Right.
It was something that dissuaded him from going along the right path for a while.
Right.
But he always retained the vision of being one day like All Might.
Yeah.
Not necessarily being better than All Might, but someone that drew inspiration from All Might, very similarly to
and
Deku.
represented the same kind of thing that All Might does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, that part though, where they reveal that Deku used the same finger twice. The looks on his face the entire time.
Yeah, there was actual blood. Also,
Yeah.
here's another thing. He did that multiple times with almost his entire right hand, I believe.
Yes.
I think he did, but if I remember correctly, he might have triple used one finger.
Possibly.
I'm really not okay with the idea that Recovery Girl can make all this right next episode.
Yeah.
Because they were hinting at that in this episode, which means almost guaranteed Deku is going to have some irreparable, like you said, damage done to his right hand at the very least.
Yeah, at least for the rest of the season, probably.
I could say theoretically for a lot longer than that.
Okay.
Because here's one of the things that Recovery Girl's power does, is it uses the body's own healing capabilities and speeds them up via energy.
Right.
But if the body can't naturally heal it, will Recovery Girl be actually able to heal Deku's injury?
Sure.
I don't think it will.
Well, or it could just be something where, like, it would normally take, like, say, 3 years to heal, and she can take off, like, 2.5 years of that or something,
Yeah, but the way that Semblance and Midnight were talking about it, it did not seem to be a thing where they're like, and that was pre the part where he used his whole hand. It was just when he started to use his hand again.
Yep.
Semblance was like, hey, I think I know what he's thinking. He's just thinking, Recovery Girl will get this.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
here's the other thing. It's a total side note. Midnight cut open her clothes and released this pink gas.
Right.
That has to be her quirk, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But, like...
So what does it do?
Yeah.
I think it was something to put them to sleep.
Oh, put them to sleep. Gotcha. Because it fits with the whole theme of her... her design.
Exactly.
I got it. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to go there. But, okay. So we predicted a lot of things that came true this episode.
We did.
One of the things that we predicted was that the end of the fight would essentially be a die roll. It would be that they would both be giving their all.
Right.
And it would be who was in the right mental state, basically going into that very last bit of the fight. So I predicted correctly that Deku doesn't want to win as much as Todoroki does.
Sure.
That is what won Todoroki the fight here.
Right.
Deku realized that being a hero in this moment
Todoroki
was more important than winning.
Yep.
And I didn't predict exactly that, but I predicted that he would...
we did predict that he would help Todoroki
He
use
predicted
his
that he
fire
would help
side.
Todoroki use his fire,
but
it wouldn't necessarily be the thing that would make Deku lose. In this respect, I think what made Deku lose was just the fact that Todoroki's a little bit better. I think that there was an element where Deku did lose because he helped Todoroki use his fire, but I think if they drew the battle out enough, he would have had to psychologically attack Todoroki with what limited knowledge he has, and I don't think Deku would have ever done that.
Possibly, but any one of those times that he actually made contact with Todoroki, he could have won right there.
But he didn't, because he kept pulling. He kept pulling his punches.
Right.
And I predicted that too. Was that when we saw him attack a person?
Right.
Which was Shigaraki.
Oh well, yeah.
Shigaraki, I think. No, it was Shigaraki was going to punch. Nomu went in the way.
Right.
He hit Nomu.
Yeah.
And his arm was fine because he used some kind of restricted, like 5% punch or something like that, which he was only able to use here because
he was going up against Todoroki.
Well, no, because if he was going up against a person, because if he used 100%, he would have killed him.
Right. Yeah.
So Deku was almost doomed to fail from the start by his own morals.
I would have expected, though, that Deku would have done something like hitting the ground.
Yes,
because that could have basically caused an elemental storm of his own of cement, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of thing where Deku is thinking a bit too far ahead. He is not thinking in the present when he is having this fight, because he's thinking about expectations just as much as Todoroki was. Mm-hmm. But once he got Todoroki's mind off of all that stuff, Deku might have been willing to fight in the present and not think about the consequences of this fight. But the place where he was thinking in the moment was with his fingers.
Right.
That was him thinking, forget the consequences. I'm here to do the best I can.
Right. Yeah.
But once he realized Todoroki wasn't even really trying after a certain point.
Yeah.
He's like, stop screwing around. Come at me with all you've got.
Right.
It's your power. Oh, that line.
That was...
That line.
That was like the best line of... Possibly the best part of the episode. Like
it probably was. I loved the Sakuga of the final.
Blows
of the fight. I want to see that. I want to see that.
That was absolutely gorgeous.
But the words, "It's your power."
Yeah.
Like
that was amazing.
So what do you think about it?
Yes.
No, like think about it. It's your power.
Right.
No. Deku, his power isn't his. Like, think about this. Deku is telling someone who actually had a quirk his whole life, okay?
That it's your power.
Yeah. Yes, but let me talk here. Because he's telling him it's your power, he's telling him you have to own this. You actually were born with this. This was destined to be yours. Deku, for instance, has to tell himself this, I'm sure, constantly, that it's your power. It's not All Might's power that you borrowed. It's now yours. He's telling him this because he needs to own up to the fact that this is the quirk he was born with. It doesn't matter what his parents, or specifically his father, say in regards to the quirk that they gave to him. No, this is his. Yeah. This isn't something that his brothers had. This isn't something that his sisters had. Those were probably brothers and sisters there, which is really cool. I'd love to hear their stories. Hopefully it's not too dark. But he's telling him that because he actually has the ability to say, yes, it actually is. It actually is my quirk, and own it.
And that's actually, if you think about it, that's probably something Deku has to do himself too, because even though
that's what I said.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that he has to remind himself that constantly.
Yeah,
because imagine you're Deku, right? You've got this amazing quirk that you just got, recently, a few months ago or so.
Yeah,
and all this time you got all this expectations from All Might, and you're pushing through. You're going beyond. You're hitting your goals. You're going even further. But every once in a while, you're like up late at night, and it's like, I owe everything to All Might. I don't even deserve this quirk. And he could start kind of thinking that negative stuff. And every once in a while, I have to remind myself, this is my quirk.
Right.
This is my quirk now.
Yeah.
Yes, All Might chose me, but now it's mine. I need to own that and really embody that. Todoroki is a walking contradiction. Yep. And it's frustrating to Deku in the same way that maybe the Shinso Deku fight happened, in that Shinso is calling out Deku, being like, wow, you're so privileged, look at this awesome quirk you had, you could always be a hero.
Yeah.
Todoroki's thinking, I can't be a hero like
Endeavor?
All Might or something like that.
Oh.
I have to be, constantly on the lookout to make sure I'm not going to fulfill my father's wishes.
Sure.
I don't know. That's reading into it a bit.
No, I like it.
But
that part though, where we saw baby Todoroki. I just want to say
Which part?
Well, the whole, all of it. Like, thank you so much for not actually having it show anything close to the actual burning, because that no.
Well, they don't have to.
No,
but
they
one of the
don't.
things that they actually could have done that I was a little bit worried they were going to do. It would work, but it would be a little bit disturbing. Is you could hear it.
Right.
In the Avatar: Last Airbender world, you do hear it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's very chilling.
Right.
And that's not a pun. It's very, very chilling, because when you think about like the context of it with Zuko, for instance, his father willingly walks up to him, slowly, menacingly says, "You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher."
Yeah.
And then just foof,
Yes.
burns him. Now, with this, we don't know exactly how it happened. We don't know exactly what she did. We don't know if she grabbed him, strapped him down, and poured it over slowly. We don't know if she just grabbed it and threw it at him and it accidentally burned his eye.
No,
those kinds of
he
things
said
are
she
important.
poured boiling water on my face.
Yeah, but we don't
yeah.
know what that means, Jake.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that what they meant by that is that she held him down and poured boiling water on him.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing we don't know is, why did she stop? Like, here's I'm going to be reading into this a bit too much, but here's the thing. She mentions something that was very interesting. She mentioned to herself, she acknowledged that she was going crazy to her mother.
Yes.
She's like, "Mom, I think I'm going crazy. The kids start to look more and more like him.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Something. Todoroki hears this and is just, like, it hits him so deep, because his mom is basically saying she wants to abandon him. And he's like,
well,
"Mom,
at best.
why?" She turns around, and the look in her eyes is so confused, so afraid, and so... It's not hateful.
It's just broken.
It's broken. Yes, broken.
Yeah.
It's a great word for it. What I'm worried for is the fact that when she went to do it, like, there was a very real chance that we might find out about this later, is that when Endeavor took her to a hospital, it wasn't a mental hospital. Guys, when she poured it over, there could have been some self-harm that she did immediately after that, which is very much in common with people once they do something that they just can't reconcile their own morals with, that they turn to punishing themselves. And Endeavor was actually trying to save her life.
Possibly.
Like, that's reading into it a bit much.
I was thinking, my first instinct was that Endeavor put her in a hospital, as in...
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe. I think he was meaning... I think it's
mental
neither. I
hospital
think it's
makes more
neither of
sense.
our predictions, in that he's saying, I put her in a hospital, meaning like I admitted her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, hey, she's not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
She just did something that is going to remain in the family or something. I don't
whatever.
know.
I mean,
So
hospital,
he's
not
like,
disclosure.
or maybe she attacked my kid. I'm not pressing
Yeah.
charges. Just put her
Sure.
in here and take care of her.
But
Here's the thing I'm worried about, though, is that Endeavor still wants her around. He didn't put her in prison or anything like that, or in jail, So he's basically still wanting to keep the factory of babies going, at least for the time being.
Sure.
I mean, he might not have done anything recently, but he still has the other kids, and apparently they're in another world from Todoroki, so they're probably failures, like I was predicting, which is
absolutely.
equally just messed up. I would love to hear their stories, though, because I could see people having powerful potential quirks that never really went anywhere really strong, like Todoroki's, like where he has that almost near perfect control, and he just kind of generates it like from anything he's touching, which is insane. I would love to just see their stories at some point in the future.
Yeah, but amazing episode. The fight was like, okay, so a lot of times with fights,
Yeah,
they
Let's talk
tend
about the fight.
they tend to be at best a spectacle, right? Like where it'll focus on the visuals and all that stuff, but they had everything they needed behind this as fuel on both sides, where you wanted both sides to win, right? You didn't want any one side to lose, because you wanted Todoroki to be able to, show his dad that he didn't control him, and you wanted Deku to be able to, be All Might, be the hero he always wanted to be. And that was absolutely fantastic, but the visuals, I just want to say this again, they were one of the most splendid things I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Sakuga.
we are going to have to rewatch that fight so many dang times.
I'm just gonna rewatch it. I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm just gonna go and do it.
Like,
the part that really got it for me was Todoroki gets past one full hand of fingers.
Yeah.
And then he does a really strong ice attack, and Todoroki at the last second has this like crazy look in his eye, flicks he flicks his second finger that he had done already once before. So he had done one on the left hand that was like in bandages. He did that one, and then he did another one that he had already used, and he did that, and he's like, "Where are you looking?"
Yeah.
And
that was.
I got really worried because that felt like Bakugo level kind of intensity.
Sure.
Where Deku is basically like, "Where are you looking, Todoroki? Your fight's right here. It's not over." And I kind of felt, I was like, "Oh, hi, Bakugo." Like that was, but I said, "No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to kind of hold back."
I really expected at that point for Deku to basically be like, okay, I'm not going to keep wasting my fingers, blocking Todoroki's attacks. I thought he was going to basically like do one of those things where he quickly dashes around, and the "where are you looking, Todoroki" is going to be when he's coming up like behind him or something.
He doesn't have speed. Midoriya doesn't have the ability to attack the ground with his feet at a controlled amount. He breaks his legs every single time.
Well, but he could, because he did the thing where he swiped Todoroki's hand away that one time.
Yeah, but that wasn't feet.
No, I know, but it's the same motion.
It doesn't matter. It's against a person. The idea, Jacob, is that you're missing the fundamental aspect of why Deku has the ability to even restrict his power from 100%. It's because he's attacking the person. He's using the microwave, kettle not exploding, or something like that.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true, because there have been times, I'm pretty dang sure, where he did it without going all out.
Nope. He has never jumped with his power and not broken his legs.
No, I wasn't suggesting he would jump.
He has never used the power with his legs. And
fair enough, that doesn't mean he wouldn't be able to do it.
I know, but he didn't, because I don't think he could. It makes sense that Deku is smart. He used what he could. Let's assume...
No, he actually didn't. He didn't use everything he could.
No, we know that, Jacob. I'm talking about the things that would actually be able to be reused. He avoided almost at all times using 100% of his power on a full body part. He tried to either relegate it to a single finger. He did the...
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I knew I could do it, but I was like trying to do it. But he used his flicking powers,
yes,
which is kind of funny to say out loud. But he didn't use his feet, I believe, because he would have to break them in order to use it. He doesn't have the ability to control it at this point.
Specifically for his legs.
And the reason why is because the legs are attacking the ground. Think about it. He's initiating force. It's against the ground. So he has to be attacking something and use his own kind of internal morals in order to make sure that he's not killing anyone when he does it.
No, because that's the whole point of the thinking about the, okay, think about a microwave not exploding or whatever.
Yeah, he only did that when he was attacking people.
Okay.
Only did that when he was attacking people. I was really focused on any time that the power was used directly against Todoroki with physical contact.
Right. Well, yeah, of course.
Every single time,
he's
only 5%. But the point is that Deku could have won at like 1, 2, 3. I think it was like 4 different times he punched him, maybe 3.
Yes.
Directly. And none of those times did he use 100%, otherwise he would have pulverized Todoroki.
Well, right. And a lot of the times when he did his moves, Todoroki was conveniently on his half of the battlefield. So if they had been simply turned around, because Todoroki did end up getting blasted back, but it was always not enough because he was blasting him lengthwise. If it had been side to side, if he had been on the opposite side of Todoroki would have lost.
I think that was also a strategy thing by Todoroki, is he tried to stay at range for the beginning of the fight until he had wasted a full arm. So in a way, Deku's strategy was okay for the endurance side. It would have worked if Todoroki never used his fire.
Sure,
it would have worked.
If I had one bone to pick with this episode, it would be that Deku didn't really move. Because Deku is smart, Deku plans, he knew that he wouldn't be good in an endurance fight, right?
Right.
And it didn't make sense that for almost the entire fight until the very end, he just stood there. That did not make sense.
I think that it didn't make sense.
Like, at the very least, he'd run around.
I think it didn't make sense in the very beginning, but think about it this way, Jacob. Reaction time. So you're Deku, and you've played at least a couple sports. So you know that when a physical object is coming at you, and you have to either dodge it or catch it,
right?
There is a split-second delay between your perception and your ability to react to it. It's usually around a quarter to a half second.
Yeah.
That time, though, magnifies when you're moving. So Deku is actually using a bit of physics to his advantage by focusing himself always on Todoroki, because then if he was moving, he would actually be moving quite slow, because he would have to strafe.
Sure.
He would have to constantly keep Todoroki in his viewpoint.
Yeah, but
no, really, because if the ice came around from behind him, he's dead. He loses.
Yes, but the main point of dodging is that you're not using the reaction time of when they actually are, when the thing's coming at you. It's that you're just constantly moving, because that also makes it harder to hit someone. It doesn't matter if Todoroki's great at aiming, and if he does this massive blast of ice.
I agree, but that only really applied for the first about 30 seconds of the fight. Yeah, it was when they were standing there repeatedly sending the same blows back and forth at each other. That happened 3 times in a row, I think. 4 times?
No, 4 times. He used his whole hand just standing there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I'd say Deku's biggest opportunity to win was to get behind an attack, very much like he did at the very end of the fight. But that was an all or nothing kind of point. What Deku was basically realizing was that he could tell that Todoroki didn't want to win that much.
Yes.
But once he saw actually what was going on, like how serious Endeavor's effect was on him.
Right, which happened when Endeavor talked to him.
Right. He basically pulled back his punches in order to beat basically Todoroki back into the fight. Because at any point, you're right, he could have one-for-alled into the ground and probably broken the stadium and sent Todoroki out. And it's a little bit of a question, though. If Todoroki is really this fast with kind of using the ice to be a barrier behind him, which was really clever, by the way.
That was great.
He was using the ice in front of him to block the initial concussive force, but then the constant wind blowing from the punch or the flick itself, he put the ice behind him and a little bit underneath him, so he's kind of like wedged into it, kind of like a hand,
just
like a catcher's glove, basically.
Yeah,
that's genius. It's not what I thought he would do with the just putting a bubble around him, but if he puts a bubble, then he restricts his own perception, and then Deku could launch in and do a move there. So if anything, they both underestimated each other a little bit, but I would say Deku underestimated Todoroki a lot more, or maybe he overestimated Todoroki a bit in the beginning and thought that if I can just wear him out, I will eventually find his limit because my resolve is that strong.
No, maybe, but I don't
Really?
think so. I don't think so because
That's what Todoroki perceived, that he was trying to do an endurance match.
Well, okay, yeah.
Why do you say that?
All right, fair enough. And Deku was definitely going for just the Determinator, going the Determinator route. But
Sure,
but it
for the
wouldn't-
beginning, yeah.
Right, but it wouldn't completely make sense from the standpoint of, and granted, this is only if Deku was thinking clearly. At that point, he probably wasn't. He almost certainly wasn't.
He was definitely inflicting a lot of harm on his hand there, so he
Right.
wasn't thinking perfectly clear.
No.
But neither was Todoroki. Like I
that's
said, the
true.
adrenaline was
Yeah.
hitting them hard in
Yeah.
that fight.
When they did the thing, what was it? When they mentioned how Deku's talking to Todoroki, he's trying to get him to, go all out and stuff like that. And they met, and it was Midnight and
Cementos.
They made the comment about how he probably wasn't going to be able to recover fully from this.
Right.
I at first thought that was like a guaranteed thing that Deku was actually going to win the fight, because that would basically make it so that the future fights would be a challenge, right? Especially since
Like you predicted,
Right.
that when he would fight Ida in the semifinals,
Exactly.
it would be with a really tough
handicap
kind
of some
matchup,
kind
a
from the
handicap from the previous
fight. Yeah. But
which it could have been.
yeah, and that was
In fact, it would have been.
right, and that was a great red herring to say that, and then still have Deku lose.
Right. So Deku losing, that means Todoroki's going to go, at the very least, all the way to the end. It's just a question of whether or not he's going to win, which means if he goes to the end, he's going to face Bakugo, obviously.
Right.
And if he faces Bakugo, he's probably going to win.
Yeah.
But the question is, we saw a lot of Todoroki kind of losing his cool, his will to fight, all these very kind of typical things, but they all happened so quickly. Like, all of a sudden. Like, he just thought back, and then suddenly, no.
Yeah, well, I mean, just
So-
just some words from Endeavor was enough, during his fight with Sero.
But the idea is that it was not just Endeavor's words echoing in his ears or just his past. It was the words coming from Deku's mouth in combination with all this swirl of emotions.
Yep, memories
just
from
kind
his
of
mom.
broke him for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Bakugo, seeing how this fight went and listening in on Todoroki's backstory, exploits that, beats the crap out of him, and, like, because he beats the crap out of him so bad, he's pissed because it doesn't feel like he actually beat,
Sure.
Todoroki in a way.
Okay.
It's a very real possibility now.
Maybe, but I don't think they're going to do that. And
I want it to go the other way because
Right.
Bakugo needs to have a little bit of a coming to terms with.
Yes, he absolutely does.
He needs to come back and develop himself a little bit more.
And that's the main reason why I don't think that's going to happen with Todoroki, not just for Bakugo's sake, but also for Todoroki's. Because they have had a lot of development for Todoroki in this episode, a lot of self-acceptance, things like that. You don't want to have him go up against an opponent who then undermines that and sends him back to where he was before.
It wouldn't necessarily send him back to where he was before.
No, but the idea
it
is
would just show that he's not fully over it yet.
Sure, but Todoroki has made some progress. I wouldn't expect things like that from Bakugo to work as effectively as they might have before.
Let's be real though. The progress happened all in an instant. It wasn't a progression that led to this point. Just FYI.
Sure.
What I'm reading from this story is that the writer of this wanted to shock Todoroki out of his almost hallucination, like this idea that he had to live up to what his father wanted. And Deku basically one for all him until he got it.
Yeah.
And then he yelled the words, "It's your power!"
Oh, yeah.
And you saw that part where they were looking at each other, and Todoroki was... Oh, man. It looked like he was about to cry. And yet, he looked so happy. Todoroki had this face on, it was just... like, his eyebrows were up, the flames were coming off of his side.
And I like how they made his hair get blown back.
Yeah.
Like, when that was happening, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
So, Todoroki, with this, it could be all he needs, and now he's officially upgraded to main character status.
Yeah.
And he kind of takes a little bit of time off to kind of, over the next, 2 fights or 3 fights or however many he is in the second row, to kind of rediscover himself a little bit,
Yeah.
And then he goes in to fight Ida.
And
that's a fight that would be interesting because let's say he's not fully over it. Ida could give him a run for his money, and I would love an honorable fight for Ida.
Yes.
A fight where Ida doesn't lose like Sero.
Right. Well, and yeah, I don't think he's going to lose like Sero. I think it's going to be more like something of Bakugo versus Uraraka. Because at this point, the way that they could have made there be intense conflict if Deku had won is because they're friends, right?
Right.
So Deku doesn't want to fully like beat Ida. He doesn't. He certainly doesn't want to hurt Ida.
Yeah.
And that's how they make it be really intense. With Todoroki versus Ida, they don't really have a connection. Like they were on the same team in the cavalry battle, but that's
no. So here's where actually I think there is a connection. Is they're both still living up? They're both living up to expectations. People. Ida is trying to live up to the expectations of his brother, or is trying to meet and be like his brother.
Okay.
Todoroki has just found some freedom from not having to be like his father, so they could end up teaching each other some things subtly. Subtly. But because they don't have the friendship connection like you're talking about. But I think they have that kind of professional respect for each other.
They've just started that. And here's the other issue I have with the Todoroki versus Ida. The power differential's too big.
Sure.
Like it's just flat out too big.
But so is the differential between Kirishima and Bakugo. In fact, I would say the differential there is even larger.
But Ida
actually is the only person with speed in this entire freaking school. Speed is extremely strong.
But that's not
extremely strong.
Yes, but that's not necessarily going to help him much against Todoroki. Like it'll help, but it's not going to do anything to change the tide of battle.
Okay.
And with a fight like this, that was so intense, how do they keep it from feeling like this big empty sense of nothing because now it's de-escalated a ton? Because what could possibly top that fight?
So I think you are right, but I think you're wrong in that it doesn't have to escalate. One of the problems I have with shonen in particular is they feel this need to constantly have the next fight be better and bigger and flashier and more explosion-y than the previous one.
Oh,
that's not what they need. They just need to have a fight that's unique.
Sure.
And I feel like My Hero Academia will deliver that in such a way that you are going to be surprised. Because when I think of Ida, let's think about this. Ida's speed is so much that he moves faster than people can see when he's using his
super
recipro burst thing. If he just kicks it off to where he almost brings Todoroki out of the ring in the first second of the whole thing, but Todoroki just kind of freezes them in place, and then it's like, oh no, and then the fight kind of slows down and then it becomes more of a back and forth kind of thing. That would be awesome because everyone's gonna look at that and go, holy crap, this guy's fast. And no one in Class 1A is fast.
But here's the problem I have. All right. But we know how this tournament's going to go. At this point,
absolutely.
We totally know how it's going to go.
We totally know how it's going to go.
And here's the problem with that. With Deku, because he's such an underdog, that's okay. Because we want to see him succeed despite the obstacles.
But if Deku
even though we know in the end he's going to win. But with Todoroki, he's already top dog. There's the fights, we won't really care. There will be cool stuff. I think you're salty
because Deku lost, but actually, if you think about it, if Deku won, we would know exactly how all the fights were going to go too. In fact, we would know even more because I would say Deku going in against a fight against Bakugo exactly makes it your prediction, and he has to defeat Bakugo. But now that I'm looking at this fight between Todoroki and Bakugo, I don't necessarily see Bakugo as having to win. I'd say he's favored 70-30. You
mean Todoroki's favored 70-30?
Did I say Deku?
You said Bakugo.
Oh, sorry. Todoroki is favored 70-30 against Bakugo, in my opinion.
I'd say 95-5. The fact, if he was just ice, I would say 70-30. But the fact that he has his fire now, unless for some reason he decides no, he's not going to use it against Bakugo, he's going to completely destroy him because his fire alone is probably more powerful than Bakugo's explosions, and he has the ice to boot. There is no reason the Bakugo should be able to win.
To be fair, though, if we look at what happened in this fight at the very end, Todoroki's fire was used as kind of a wave But if you think about actually the strength of the actual fire, it wasn't because of the strength of the fire that the explosion thing happened. It was like they said, the air was super cold, then super heated all at once, and everything expanded.
Right.
So Todoroki's fire could actually be still pretty weak.
Because it doesn't have the explosive force, and if you knock someone out of bounds, they lose. Okay.
Exactly. I would say that the combination of Todoroki and Todoroki's fire and ice makes it stronger than Bakugo's. But the thing is
well, just his ice is stronger than Bakugo.
Yeah, but I looked at this fight. And what I saw was two people that didn't want to win as much until the very end. Now, I'm serious here, Jacob.
Okay.
This really makes me kind of question a little bit of my Todoroki going all the way, because Todoroki going all the way with his father's quirk means he could own it, be his.
Yeah.
But let's say he's more human than even us, and just this shock of a moment isn't enough to keep this as a thing, and he has that kind of Zuko moment where it's like, but it's still my father's quirk.
But that would, okay, sure, maybe, but that would still feel super cheap. Like it would feel so cheap if he ended up fighting the other people and he lost to one of them because he wasn't willing to use the fire quirk, the fire side of his quirk, after he fought Deku, and Deku got him to use it without shame.
I mean, yeah, I think it would have to be executed well, but I'm just saying that odds-wise, I think this fight told us a little bit about my perception versus your perception, being able to read how this show is going, and that you are looking at how things would work out if they were done in the best way. But I don't think you should be thinking about it that way.
I think you think about it from a story perspective.
You think about it from the mindset of who is writing this and what they've been building up to.
Yeah.
There can be things that they subvert and they do it differently. And you looked at this brackets and said, it's obvious. This makes sense to write it in such a way so that Deku would do this. What if this was his first subversion in that regard?
Right,
and was
he's leading you one way, and then
you thought Deku was going to go all the way? Psych!
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
He doesn't. In fact, he does the honorable thing and helps Todoroki go all the way.
Yes, and I absolutely love it. But here's the problem. If you subvert it later, you better do a dang good job of it, because there is no reason to believe that it would be subverted. With Deku versus Todoroki, it's reasonable to believe, right? Todoroki has more mastery of his quirk at the time of the fight. The only reason you think Deku's going to win is because the tournament brackets are set up so it would be, more, have more conflict if Deku was the one who won, and because he's the main character, right? But with Todoroki, there is nobody that should be able to really compete with him.
I disagree. I feel like you're taking this into the standpoint of what has to actually happen rather than what could happen.
Yes,
so
Bakugo could beat him.
No, I'm saying that you're not actually looking at what parameters need to be in place for Bakugo to win. You're saying, well, based on these parameters, this is what's going to happen. Cool. Look ahead. How are the parameters going to change? The next episode is not going to be Bakugo versus Todoroki. There's going to be multiple fights before that. Assume what would happen in that time in order for Todoroki to win. Like, what would be the parameters that would have to be there? Would there have to be anything to change? You say no. Right now, Todoroki will win. I kind of agree, yeah. I would say it's closer to like 90-10. But I would say that if we let some time happen, and Bakugo, we show maybe getting that extra bit of development. Like, they move the development over to Bakugo now. Or they move it to Ida. Or they move it to Deku and Uraraka outside of the tournament while these other fights are going on, and we kind of have all those fights happen really quickly until, like, the final. There could be some really serious things that happen character-wise outside of the fights that makes it a way in where it is actually a tension fight. Because think about it, if you're the writer, Jacob, do you want the fight to be an obvious 90-10 for Todoroki?
No. But
Why
the
not?
thing is,
Why not? You said that that's the only way it has to be.
there's what what you set it up to be, and even if it is an obvious 90-10, and say Todoroki is going to win, you're going to try and make the people think that, maybe Ida will win, maybe Bakugo will win.
Let's throw it out there. Ida's not going to win.
Ida is not going to win.
Ida's not going to win. Sorry, Ida, you're awesome, and you're like my favorite character in this whole show.
I would be angry if he won.
But yeah, Ida's not going to win.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, though. It's just like with character deaths. People will, writers will tease character deaths to make you think that they're going to die, like they did with All Might in Season 1.
Yep.
And they did that in an amazing way with All Might in Season 1. Like, that was really good.
Really good.
But then they still end up, nope. It actually is the way you expect it to happen, because that is what's most likely. It's not enough to change, the way things go. And, like, okay, here's something I could see happening.
Okay.
In order to subvert the thing, right? Because you think now Todoroki's obviously going to win, so they make the villains attack.
Oh God, no!
They could do that. That would be a way that they
no.
could reasonably surprise us and make it so that Todoroki doesn't actually win, unless he has some sort of carrying over injury, which he doesn't seem like he will.
No,
there's no reason
so.
that he shouldn't be able to win.
He might actually have some injuries,
but nothing that Recovery Girl wouldn't be able to fix.
No, I think that he might just have to have a day with. Oh, that would be interesting. Deku and Todoroki in the same hospital room with Recovery Girl, and she's like slapping them around, like, "You dumb kids."
Like, that would be awesome,
because it doesn't tire her out to do any of this.
Yeah. So, do you think we're gonna get like a fair amount of like in between time? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The next fight, I believe, is Ida
versus the green-haired girl, right?
Versus the green-haired girl, exactly. Yeah. So that fight is going to be... I don't know. I would say that Ida's going to win, because that's my prediction, and that I think is your prediction as well.
Yeah.
I think the reason why she might have a bit of trouble is his speed is just too good.
Right.
Like, her abilities seem very strong, but she's going to have to almost cocoon herself and then, like, lash out with, like, vine attacks from her cocoon. But the question is, do those respond well to just blunt force kicks coming in at Mach 2?
I want to see what happens if Ida does one of his, what was it called again? The
Recipro Burst.
Yeah, Recipro Burst, if he does a Recipro Burst kick. 'Cause that would be ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I think that's actually the thing that's going to keep him on par with Todoroki.
Sure.
I think it's going to be an Uraraka thing in that he'll use Recipro Burst way too much because of the fact that he really wants to win.
Right.
But he just doesn't have the capability.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious how his fight has to go, and it's going to feel bad when he loses, but it's going to be kind of like Kirishima and Bakugo. It's going to be like, oh, Kirishima, make Bakugo respect you, and just show him how hard you can be.
Yeah. Okay, here's actually something I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how Ida loses. Not loses in the fight, but how he responds to losing. Because Ida is, how should I say this? He is one dang awesome special individual, from his bravo to everything else. I think he will take it in an awesome way. He'll take it in stride. Possibly. Like, that was very emotional when Uraraka was crying on the phone to her parents.
Yeah.
I don't think Ida will do that.
I think
I
to an
could
extent,
see a manly handshake.
I think to an extent that's not necessarily going to be exactly what happens, because let's think about it this way. Mm-hmm. Hatsume Mei, his fight with her, was pretty annoying.
Yeah.
If he has a fight that he doesn't feel like was a really good test of his skills with the vine-haired girl, and then he goes up against Todoroki and absolutely gets demolished, that could be kind of disheartening for him, because he never really got to show what he could do. Okay. I could see him, if anything, being like, very good fight, and then just walking off and kind of sulking.
Okay, possibly.
Like, kind of getting a little bit of a downer.
What I could see happening is that, so because they were on the same team in the cavalry battle, what I could see happening is that Todoroki basically fights Ida in a very respectful way. So it's
he's very cautious in that he knows what he can do.
Sure. Yeah, but it ends up being this thing that's like full of honor and respect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that way, when Ida loses, it's like a thank you for this, for this match.
Sure.
I wish you fortune in the wars to come.
Yeah, I guess. I like it. I feel like Ida has had a couple times where things didn't really go his way, and that's I don't know. It's something to where I'm not really sure how he'll react to losing, especially losing in the semifinals.
Yeah, but I mean, making it to semifinals either way is pretty cool, and it's not second place,
That's
so
true.
it's not going to be one of those things that really sucks.
Okay, the other fights are Tokoyami versus Ashido, the acid girl.
Yeah, the acid girl.
That's not going to be a fight, really. Tokoyami will beat her. Unfortunately, it'll just be kind of over.
Right.
Bakugo versus Tokoyami, though.
When that happens, that'll be cool.
That'll be a cool fight.
Okay.
Like think about it. They both have just really strong quirks.
Yes.
But I wonder if Bakugo's way of winning is not that he just destroys Tokoyami. It's that
the explosions are bright.
Yeah.
That probably. But now I would say that's about a 70-30 or 80-20 that Bakugo will win, right?
Oh, really? I see that as a 100-0.
Oh, really?
Like Bakugo declared. He declared that he will be number one.
That's true.
Which means that he is either going to be second or first. There is no other alternative.
Right, and he really doesn't have much competition on his side other than Tokoyami. And while it would be awesome to see Tokoyami versus Todoroki in the final match, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be mostly right about everything because I looked at this by quirks.
Right.
You looked at this a little bit too much, I think, by story, kind of optimal drama hype results.
Sure.
I was looking at this from the standpoint that MHA is not trying to be as cheesy as they can.
Yeah.
MHA is trying to make sure everyone in the tournament specifically knows that they have to win this themselves. Mm-hmm. That there's not going to be anyone helping them. There's not going to be any special favors done. You have to put your all into it and just go for it. Plus ultra,
Yeah.
And the people that don't have enough or aren't willing to give their all will lose. And that's why I put my court guesses like that. So I think the brackets were set up in a way that it's not supposed to be unpredictable, or even in such a way that it'll subvert anything. But I thought it was kind of obvious that Todoroki being just clearly a stronger person, and they're focusing the character development on him, it would have been a little bit Shinso-y in order to have him be the one that lost. So
possibly,
I don't know.
Yeah. It will.
Maybe I'm just a sucker for Zuko characters. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who can blame you?
That's probably true out of any context, really. So
now, I probably could have figured it out if I had thought about, because we had both figured out that Deku was going to basically convince Todoroki to use his fire,
right?
And that in order to have the biggest payoff, it would have to be using his fire for himself, right? Owning it.
Yeah.
So from that sense, I probably should have seen it coming that they're not going to do something like that and then have Todoroki lose.
Yes.
Because
that was not exactly why I kind of completely bought into Todoroki winning, but that was a part of it.
Like that would have felt.
It would have been a dead end. That's what I mean. It would have been Shinso-y. It would have been a thing where he worked so hard to get this far, and just didn't have it. And that was kind of the harsh reality of the whole thing, which maybe you're like, that's a theme. I think they're going to continue that into the next fight, which would be pretty harsh. My reason was that Shinso himself was like, you better take yourself seriously. Someone's going to get you.
Right.
That's direct foreshadowing to this fight, especially
absolutely.
Now that we have the 2020 hindsight.
Absolutely.
But I think if we went back and watched the season from the beginning, it's very much obvious, I think, that Todoroki was going to win. I think we had it pretty close to like a 55-45 kind of thing where we were like, Todoroki's slightly favored, but this is Deku's story, you know.
Right, because the whole point is, so I love the idea of the title of this episode saying, Shoto Todoroki, origin, like that was awesome,
Because this is his new origin too.
because this
is his new origin.
Right, this
now.
is his origin story, right?
Yeah,
it all starts
right
here.
now.
It all starts right here.
Oh!
But when you come right down to it, it's not the story of how Todoroki became the greatest hero.
No, it's
It's
not.
the story about how Deku became the greatest hero. And it is awesome that they're showing him losing, because that is something that happens in life. You don't just go from success to success to success. It's a curvy, winding road. Right, and that's what makes the determination and stuff and the discipline to keep going so important.
Very important.
Because the whole point is that you're picking yourself up from failure. It's no big deal to keep pushing on after a success.
Yep.
Like-
Guys, this was an episode.
Oh yeah.
This has been almost 90 minutes of MHA.
Yes.
It's going to be cut down heavily, but there's something you've been waiting for us to do.
Yeah.
And
All right.
Jacob, you have to get on the receiving end now.
Yeah.
They were kind of disappointed with the previous slap, and you were too, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So can you take out your headphones, please?
Fair enough.
All right, guys. Again, we don't condone violence, but we had a slap bet.
And we're brothers.
And we're brothers. And since
Comes with the territory.
this fight
I'm
has
really-
given me essentially a permanent 2-point lead on him, minimum, there is no way that he can win the March Madness bracket because of the fact that we
All our
pretty much
guesses
guessed
are the same, yeah.
all the same except
Now-
for the results of this fight.
Now, if for some reason, and it's not going to happen, but if for some reason, through magic,
He doesn't
you
continue.
end up losing, he doesn't continue or whatever, and I end up winning, then I get two
Then you
slaps
get
on you. Because
two
it's
slaps.
preemptive.
Mathematically, it's impossible. The
I
only
know,
reason
I
why
know.
it should happen, guys, is if, like he was saying, if Deku gets pushed ahead to the next round, even though they just said in this
Even though they
episode
just said that he lost, yeah.
that he doesn't. So, yeah.
right.
Are you ready?
Are you going to go from this side or that side?
I am right-handed, so I'm going
Okay.
to slap you with my right
All right.
hand.
All right.
All right. I'm going to avoid your eye, but
Yeah, well, you're not wearing any rings or anything, so.
no, I am not wearing rings. Jacob sometimes has a ring that's like an Aragorn ring, and if we are like punching each other for whatever reason, I kind of avoid that ring because it's painful. It's like a driving vocal.
All right, let's.
All right. Enough talk.
Make
Let's
it worth
slap.
it.
All right.
You have enough wind up?
Yeah, I know, right? Like let's see.
Really get some force
Let's
behind
see.
it.
Let's get this going, guys. All right. Here we go. Beyond plus ultra. Oh,
That was all right.
that was all right.
That was
I
all
feel like I missed his cheek, kinda.
No, I think it was that.
I actually got your neck, kinda right
Well,
here.
I think it was mostly that you had like force behind it, but like if you want a
I
stinging
didn't like
slap,
I didn't
right? If
do
you want a
that.
stinging slap, you need it to be like a whip.
Yeah.
Like it needs to just.
The thing is, you have all that armor. You know.
Yes,
He's
this
got all
padded
that
hair. Yeah.
that awesome beard hair.
Right,
there.
but it was an okay slap.
it was an okay slap.
Nice buckets.
I gotta say though, I intentionally always feel like I hold myself back when it comes to violence. I am
like
not.
Deku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
he's
if it's any consolation, I would not have held back on you.
Deku right here, Bakugo right here.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this was an episode.
Oh,
I felt like that this was a mid-season finale or
Absolutely.
or kind of season finale kind of feel.
yeah, this could have been a season finale.
But think about it this way, Jacob. This is kind of the signifier that the tournament is going to be winding down soon.
right.
We still haven't, like you said, gotten anything to do with the villains this whole time, and I've kind of
And-
appreciated that.
So that's probably going to be the actual season finale.
Yeah, I'm wondering, will this tournament end? I believe it will. I hope it will.
Yeah, that would be great.
But at what point will the villains, and specifically Ninja Turtle, Blades licking, potential
lizard,
cannibal
whatever.
lizard thing?
Hopefully
Batman,
cannibal.
and I eat people. Whoever that is, come into play. I feel like he'll come into play soon-ish. Not like very soon, but like he's got to be brought into the fray soon.
Yeah.
But if they consider this this tournament to be an arc, they could just wait until the tournament's over.
That's true.
That'd be kind of expected, I would
Yeah.
say.
The tournament could end at like the end of Act 2, and then the third act could be the villains.
All right. Anything else to bring up?
Well, yes. So, if you want to watch the next episode,
That's right.
right now,
Yep.
you can.
Go check out the link in the description. We have our Patreon's early access reward tier. You can watch next week's episode right now. It's pretty cool. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around for our awesome discussion. We know we promised something impressive, and we probably could keep going, but we'll probably save that for when we do some kind of post season 2
Yeah.
live stream discussion thing.
Right.
I don't know. Should we do something like once the tournament's over?
No, I think we should save it for once the actual season's over.
Okay, I think that's a good plan. All right, guys, we had a lot of fun. We'll see you next time, but until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.